by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defoe, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are home today. It is the rare home show, and boy, are we all having a day today or what? Technological issues, dental issues, Verizon phone issues, computer issues, but we've got Mike Lubie Lubitz with a fresh, hot off the grill McRib sandwich. We've got Jeff Defoe DeForest, fresh from the dentist. I hope your bridges are all connected and there's no heavy tolls to be paid. Oh, look at that. Nice. And for an extra treat today, we have Carlos Frias, New York Times contributing food writer, and also formerly of the Miami Herald. He's going to be joining us, but his computer is rebooting now. We're all in a great place. But Defoe, how are you? And are those chompers working?
Well, it depends how you look at it. I have the greatest troubleshooting dentist in the world, Dr. Michael Noodleberg, who had fixed me up about 13, 14 years ago. I was in disastrous shape. He saved me a ton of money, and I put a whole bunch of stuff together, pretty much redid my entire mouth. But one of the bridges became loose over the weekend, happened Friday, popped out. I glued it back in with a little poly grip. And I thought it would be a simple glue job, but apparently there's going to be more necessary work to be done to get this right. And the price tag on that, on any dental work whatsoever, is a little bit high. And he's the cheapest guy out there in terms of finding solutions that aren't going to break the bank completely. But wow, I wish your father was around. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I did too. But maybe you might have to take a trip to Costa Rica or Colombia or something like that. Do a little,
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to, the usual DeForest maneuver would be to just take my chances. But apparently something else needs to be done here besides just gluing this stuff back in. So we'll see what happens. But I've had better moments in my life. It's always stunning when you're sitting there in the chair, but it'll be okay. It's all okay. It's good for today. That's for sure.
So you're going to be gumming your food for a while, soft foods, and
you know what? I needed to go on a new diet anyway, so maybe
liquid diet
sauce instead of that fabulous meal I had. I have to say, I have to give a shout out to Joey Esposito. Mustang's mother was in town with her sister. Her mother had been to the Cafe Seville a long time ago when they were open for lunch. Loves the place and was craving paella. And we went there on Saturday night, a party of 5. Could not have had a more spectacular time.
Oh, he's the best.
I texted Joey the next day, you killed it, man. Knocked it out of the park. Every dish was amazing. It might have been the best dinner I've had. I want to say lifetime, Mike Mayo. It was absolutely fantastic.
Up there.
Yeah.
That's great. I love everything about Cafe Seville. It's just one of those places that's been around a while. They know what they're doing. They know how to take care of people. They have the human touch. It's not one of those places where it's an automated reservation system. He's old school. You call him up. He says, yeah, sure, come in. Yeah, 3 of you, no problem.
We called not last minute, but maybe the day before, 7:30 on a Saturday night reservation. Got that table for 5 locked up. And it was great. They really hit it on the head. I mean, the service was perfect. Everything, every dish came out just absolutely on the money. A great variety of stuff. I had some of the paella the next day. Fantastic. So really, I mean, a tribute to a great restaurant, Cafe Seville. I salute Joey Esposito and the good crew there. And they were packed, too. So it wasn't like it was an easy night. And they really did a great job.
And it's the Seville and Joey, one of our kind of original, I guess we call them foundation sponsors, and always love to hear people's good stories, and love to see when they post it on the Let's Eat South Florida group, as opposed to bitching and complaining about overpriced pizza slices or whatnot. But the group is getting to me. But you know what got to me more this
You're
morning?
more of a meat guy when you go there, but when people always ask, "Where's a great seafood restaurant?" Top notch. I mean, I had a Corvina Santa Fe. I love that Santa Fe sauce. And literally, Mike Mayo, beyond melt in your mouth, delicious. And everybody else was thrilled. They all had a variety of things, and it really was great. So, I mean, when people think of seafood restaurants,
they do a great job.
Seville should be
No,
right or near the top of their list.
The variety of fish, and again, that one of the great things in South Florida restaurants is the whiteboard. It's not a blackboard; it's the
Yeah.
whiteboard with all the special
They have a new
on it.
printer. Whoever did the printing on this did a marvelous job.
Yeah, no, they're very good writing, and and then they have all their deli fish. Usually, they have 6 or 7 different fresh fish, and you're right. That Santa Fe sauce, you could probably even put the Santa Fe sauce on a McRib,
anything.
and it might taste good. I want to get to this.
Hey, you really have Lubie with a McRib
I
sandwich?
got a
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
yes.
So here's the deal. This morning, I thought I was all right. We thought that the McRib was maybe going to be available today, but then I was seeing that it's not until next Monday, December 2nd. My daughter told me, she drove through a McDonald's after she landed the other night with her mom, and they had a big McRib poster, but she didn't notice if it was available now or starting next week. And I was going to run by the local McDonald's near her to check it out and try to pick up one, because I wanted to do a live critique on the show. And I told Lubie that, hey, they might be in, go check it out. I ran out of time because I got trapped in Verizon hell. My daughter wanted to get a new phone. And as you well know, that when you think something that should take like an hour takes usually 2 hours, and then they still mess it up, her new phone, and we had to pay for all these activation fees, except they didn't activate it. And now it's I'm on with Philippines, and she's chatting with it's freaking lunacy. And but besides that, I ran out of time, did not have a chance to run by the local McDonald's. She went on her app when her phone was still working, her old phone, and it didn't show a McRib. But there's nothing like showing up. Lubie, tell me what happened, because they thought they didn't have a McRib, and I wanted to eat this with you because it is the single most disgusting thing I ever eat.
No, the chicken Big Mac's the most disgusting I've ever had.
All right,
I
well,
went there. I didn't see it anywhere. I'm like, I guess I can get a McChicken sandwich or something. I'm here. I'm like, by the way, do you guys have a McRib? Do you have the McRib?
And Carlos is on. Let's bring Carlos in because he's the king of sandwiches. So let's get, again, James Beard award-winning food writer Carlos Frias joins us now. He sorted out his technical issues of the day. Carlos, how are you?
Doing well, guys. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. You guys getting that?
I am hearing feedback.
I'm getting the Grand Canyon effect.
I think it's on Defoe's end. Is Defo doing something with his sound system?
I don't know. I'm not getting it, so it might be on my end.
It might be on Lubie's end. This is continuing the spectacular Dale, and I almost texted Lubie at 11. Like, let's just play a replay today, but no, I wanted a fresh Thanksgiving show. Carlos Frias, while we try to sort this out,
and it's impossible to decipher. Huge Grand Canyon effect going on right now. Echo change.
Lubie, what's going on there? We're going to go on with the show. Carlos, before we can, I feel like I'm at Yankee Stadium with Bob Sheffield. Now batting third base.
Go to break and close out and come back. I don't know. I don't know what.
All right. So should we all try again? Do we all log off and on, or is this?
Yeah, let's go to break.
Let's do it in reverse.
Let's do the first break, and then we'll get into the whole McRib mess that Lubie is going to live critique. He found a McRib before anybody else, and we'll ask Carlos Frias if he's ever had a McRib, if he likes a McRib, and all these other pressing questions. First, let's take our first break of the day, and we'll be back with more, including a contest winner on the lunchbox after these words.
Is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Trans World can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hour 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. Can hopefully things are sorted out. Carlos Frias, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
look at that.
No echo. This is spectacular.
We figured it out on the fly.
Fast improvement.
You ever have those days, whether it's gambling at the track, Defo, or
Oh,
like
me? Never. No, never had a bad day.
Never,
just,
never,
like,
never.
everything's going wrong, and you just say, I just want to maybe have a shot, take a gummy, climb back in bed again tomorrow. But
It's my strategy every day, Mike. Man. What do you
Every day that ends in day. Right?
Defo had dental issues. Lubie has issues now because he has a McRib. Can you show the folks how good this sandwich? Look at that beautiful, saucy bits of pork particulate.
Yes, his face.
Is that actually under the
I don't know what's in this.
heading of edible food? I mean,
I'm so scared.
is that
Now,
good? Is that
It's
umbrella?
I mean, there's something so wrong about food that is shaped into something that looks like food. That's so wrong.
And we've been down this path before, unfortunately. Now I am sending Lubie down the path. When we first started the Lunchbox show, and this was when it was radio only on the just glorious WWNN, the Winners Network, Defo and I were solo on the radio, but we had the fine idea of taste testing a McRib over the air. People couldn't see my face and reaction and the way I almost immediately upchucked, to be honest. It was, I had never had a McRib until that bite, that show. It was 3 years ago, hard to believe. And I took 2 bites and I said, this is the single most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. I hated the sauce. It was like gloppy, sweet stuff on top of this pressed pork matter that I did research. It was basically, they call it, what do they call it? Lubie, it's like a reprocessed or reconfigured pork that originally was
reconfigured pork.
And Brian Schwartz in the chat, in the Facebook chat, drops in that the McRib consists of a reconstructed boneless pork patty shaped like a miniature rack of ribs, which then I immediately try to imagine the tiny cow that's got those little ribs. Just like it comes from the ribs of a baby cow, or is pork, right? So it's a tiny little suckling pig.
I think it's made by 3D printers now, the McRib.
Are people really rushing out to get this the minute it's available? that possible?
Lubie, I think you have broken food. Like this is breaking news in the food scene. Like there is an app now. Where can I get a McRib? And there's live reports from around the country. Allentown, PA, chimed in that there was a McDonald's there that had a McRib. Most McDonald's across the country will
But
not
doesn't
have
it
it.
tell you something that they have something back that they're not telling you it's back? Like, isn't that tell you something that they're like, oh yeah, we have it? Like they're sort of hiding that.
You know that they've had it in stock for at least 3 months, but they just kind of wait for the marketing blitz to begin. And I guess they want the Thanksgiving turkeys and leftovers to be eaten before people go rushing out next Monday. Carlos Frias, James Beard Award winning, 2-time writer, now with the New York Times. So the answer, you are the sandwich maven. Have you ever eaten a McRib?
Oh my God, of course. I've had the McRib. I
See?
had to have the McRib experience. And I remember, I mean, it's the same fear. Okay, McDonald's does this with they were ahead of the game of doing the thing that everybody else is do, which is like limited time only and limited quantities. And it's like
FOMO.
I want to be, yes, the FOMO. I want to be one of the few to have the McRib. And it's probably a good thing that this is
Look at
not
that
part of the
face.
standard menu. Could you imagine? Yeah, look at Lubie's face. It's like that's never coming off. That's like
He's
plutonium.
making a Mayo face. This is wonderful. I'm so glad I didn't have time to stop
Look,
in and
this
see
is
if
not. I can finish this, and I don't think I'll be ill, which I could not say with the chicken Big Mac.
Really?
That was horrendous. That I couldn't even. I had it. I
that was
took it apart.
terrible.
I added mayonnaise. I found my spinach in the fridge. Like I did like science to finish that thing.
Did you try the chicken Big Mac, Carlos?
I haven't had that yet. I don't know. I don't think
Do
I need.
yourself
I
a
don't think I
favor.
need double patties of that.
Don't do it. It's
Don't do it.
it's god awful. Although I disagree with Lubie. I think the McRib, because the McRib I could only eat 2 bites and I literally had to toss the rest. The chicken Big Mac, yeah, you know what? It's the same. It was freaking garbage. It was bad. But Lubie, give me the live critique. What did you just experience?
It's interesting because I am trying to place what the flavor of the meat is. It's I don't know, pork, beef, chicken, like when they're like
Stomach, tripe.
I'm like, I don't know what it tastes, and the barbecue. And I'm one that likes Kansas City sweet barbecue sauce. I've opened my taste buds being around gentlemen like you and our friend the professor and my wife, who's very renowned and varied in her tastes. But that's what I would born, raised. That's what we liked. Even that, I don't know what the like. And I almost dropped an F-bomb. Like, I don't know what substance this sauce is, but it's really thick. Like,
Yeah, the sauce is gloppy. Sweet gloppy is how I describe that sauce. It's awful. And did you see the note I posted on Let's Eat this weekend that, according to USA Today, McDonald's will be selling half gallons of the McRib sauce for the low price of $19.99 as, I don't know if you call it a stocking stuffer as much as a maybe a colon stuffer.
I was going to say, that
cleanser.
sounds like a threat. You better be good this year. Santa's going to bring you a gallon of McRib sauce.
That is the
We're
proverbial
going to dunk
lump.
you in it on Christmas morning.
But can you add? Did you get the pickles on top? Can you open up the remainder of the
I
sandwich?
got rid of. I don't want pickles on this thing. I got rid of the onions. I just got the whatever the hell you call this thing.
The McPatty, the McRib
Stop showing us
reformulated.
that. That's horrible.
Difo, have you
gonna
ever
lose
eaten
your-
a McRib?
You're going to lose your
had
G
one, no.
rating.
I would venture to say that at 73, I'll probably go the distance without ever tasting one. I don't even have the curiosity to try it. I mean, the way you did, I saw you that day.
Yes.
The very beginning of the lunchbox, and here I've got the distinguished food critic from the Sun Sentinel, and on his very first show, he's puking up a McRib sandwich. Carlos.
I'll do anything.
And I'm
you know,
thinking,
like-
whose idea was this? So, it was mine.
Right, and this was before we had the video component, which
Yeah.
really kind of made it. You know, you had to do your radio play-by-play, and I do recall you describing the colors that my face was turning.
But we had other things, I think, that we were consuming on that show, but this was...
Yes, might have been smoking some things. Too.
You needed to.
I don't know, Carlos. So you have to love Carlos, the diversity of this gentleman. I mean, he's writing for the New York Times. He's won the James Beard Award more than once. It's like the Pulitzer for food critics. And as soon as you mentioned the McRib, he perked up and said, "Yeah, of course I've had it."
Yeah, no, I mean, I like, we eat food, like, and that's the thing is, when I was a kid, my dad, really impressed at like how important it was to eat everything. Like my dad was the kind of guy that preferred eating the hard way. So he'd order a whole fish and he'd work his way through the bones.
Okay.
And he'd do like a chicken stew, like a chicken soup, and he'd put, like bone-in chicken. So he'd have to, when he picked it out, he'd have to pick it off the bone. And to me, it was always like, why are you working so hard at this food? We had tongue at home, we had liver, not that not that I like those things immediately or even eventually. Like liver is still like, it's got to be done so well by somebody
Chicken
that's
livers
not
are
me.
the best.
Oh,
The
I
beef
can't.
liver you could keep, but chicken
No.
livers with
Me,
onions.
unless it's like in a pate, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Unless it's a pate, I'm out. I'm out on that. But
Look at Lubie.
like,
He's downing the whole thing. Oh my God. What's wrong
Not
with
as
you?
horrendous as you make it. It just would
There's-
never eat it again.
No,
So
it's
maybe-
that's what my feeling of the McRib was like. This is a sweet, saucy, goopy, unidentifiable thing,
Yes.
and it's fine enough to finish eating.
Yes,
Like
I'll
if you're
finish it.
hungry, if you're just like hungry, and you just need to feed the machine and then get back to your desk job or your little corporate shrimp, like just eat the McRib and
and move on with your life.
and move
Well,
on with your life.
And I
mean,
think Lubie had the right idea, because removing the onions, as we well know, the McDonald's onions might be a killer. That was
Right.
identified as the culprit of that E. coli outbreak on Quarter Pounders. So is it raw diced onions on a McRib?
No,
Lubie?
it's the sliced onion. They put like,
Sliced onion.
well, I think they do one sliced onion, they cut it in half, and then they put the pickles. And I didn't
Okay.
understand that on it. So
You don't
I
like
don't want to
pickles?
hear any bad news about a quarter pounder, because that is that when I go to McDonald's, that's my go-to order. It's
Fine.
quarter pounder and fries, and that's it.
My daughter likes the Quarter Pounder without the cheese, and she says, "You know what? It's not a bad burger." I was like, "Yeah, but there's so many better ones out there. Why?" And then I realized she's a 19-year-old college student.
19.
So.
Sure,
But
my kid
Lu-
loves Taco Bell. My 17-year-old loves Taco Bell, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And I get it, and I get it. It's a food-like product, right?
Yes.
Like
Food-like.
when you ever had like watermelon candy, like Jolly Rancher watermelon candy.
I
Right
had some
now,
watermelon candy, but it wasn't Jolly Rancher. I got it from the True Leaf store. Now that
Oh, nice.
well,
Well,
Carlos,
that
I don't
one's
know.
got a little aftertaste, but have you ever had like watermelon candy? You're like, oh, this is watermelon candy. But if you've ever had watermelon, it doesn't taste like that. They just tell you this flavor is watermelon. The
Yes.
same way that like chicken nuggets, McDonald's chicken nuggets don't taste like chicken. They just
No.
tell you, they put chicken in the name, so they inception the idea that it tastes like chicken. It's like
Yes.
a Matrix thing. It's a
This
Matrix
is
thing.
true if you tell people often enough. And
Which is why the McRib is gross, because if they called it the McPork, at least your mind would wrap your brain around that. Oh, this is supposed to taste like pork. This is the flavor of pork, and your brain starts to try to fill in the gaps. That'd be my marketing strategy. Call it the McOink,
I think
the McSqueal.
it's one of the few sandwiches. I think if they used the Impossible beef product, or some sort of fake meat instead of the actual whatever pork particulate thing that they use to shape this thing, I think it actually might taste better with using a soy vegan product, but probably not either. I don't know. But
I just don't know how people love it. I get, look, we all eat weird stuff. Mayo loves Skyline. It is what it is. Fine.
that's my guilty pleasure.
But
Carlos,
this
what's your
one,
guilty? What's your
I don't
guilty?
get
You
the
have a
love.
guilty?
Like, people love it. Like Don's saying his friend eats it every day while it's there. It's like,
God.
what is there to eat every day about that? Like, even if you like garbage, it's fine. I'll eat some garbage, but every day to eat that, like, there's other stuff. Like, why would you eat that? Like, I just don't get that part.
Because
What
it's
is a
the-
guilty pleasure that I could eat? Is there a guilty pleasure that you could eat every day that you would just?
No, not. I'm not asking for every
It's
day. I'm just
embarrassing.
Doritos, maybe Doritos. I could nacho flavor nacho cheese flavored Doritos. That's a guilty pleasure. I
Okay.
like that.
That's a good one.
That's
That
solid,
qualifies.
That's not embarrassing. He's talking
What's
about like
the
a
one?
weirdo food that you being a James Beard winner, when you tell people
Quarter pounder with cheese.
like
Like
quarter
it's
pounder,
like late. You've been out doing stuff. You haven't had a chance to eat, and then like the golden arches are there, and it turns on all the dopamine receptors, and that only a quarter pounder and those fries can fill. I'm waiting for the day that they go back to beef tallow. I think that like if they used to use beef tallow to fry the fries, which is why the fries were amazing at McDonald's at one point, and now they're kind of, and now I mean, for the past 20 years or whatever, they're kind of whatever they are.
Vegetable oil, and it's
Yeah,
not
they're
that.
vegetable oil, so they taste kind
Well,
of, I
not
don't know,
as
they quickly, unless they're immediately right when they're
right away.
hot, they're amazing. Yeah, and within 5 minutes they're cardboard.
Right. They're still good out of the fryer. But as far as like French fry, you're right. The type of oil that they use to fry it makes a big difference. And that's why Five Guys, as much as I despise their burgers because I don't like their meat, they still have the best
Fries are great.
fries because they fry them in peanut oil.
Oh.
And that makes them very good as far as Five Guys is a step up the ladder from the McDonald's, but the fries are pretty good. What's been going on in your world, Carlos? You have any features that have come out lately and in any major publications? And I see you've been playing with your sandwich press at home.
I
And
have. I've been doubling down on a lot of home cooking. I haven't written anything not since that New York Times top 25 list a month ago or what have you. But I've been, I'm a sandwich nerd. Like I love them. I love them in all their forms. I make so much sandwiches and in such quantities at home that I got I think, have we talked about this on the show, that I got a commercial sandwich press?
Yes. You
Yeah.
talked about this a lot.
Yeah. So it's a commercial sandwich press, and I had it tricked out, in Hialeah. I had it brass plated and stainless steel polished to a shine. It's like the Cybertruck of planchas.
So
Except everyone loves it instead of everyone hating it.
Yeah, that's
and you play around with Cubanos or with like all kinds of
I
different.
do. I don't stay within the rules. Like, I'll put mayo on a sandwich. I'll put like mayo on like a quote unquote Cuban sandwich. I'll put chorizo in there. I love doing I love buying some like roasted pork from Palacio de los Jugos. Like, they make a really good shredded roasted pork. And just doing that and going to the local bakery and getting some fresh Cuban bread, putting it together, make your own mojo at home to kick it up, and then just press it into a nice, crusty, crispy pork sandwich, pan con lechon. It's amazing. Mouth is watering just thinking about it.
Are you open to suggestions? Because I'd like to see a variant of a Cuban sandwich, but instead of using the roasted pork, either shredded or sliced, I prefer the slice because I like a flat sandwich. But I'd like to see a Cuban McRib where you get a ham and then get try to formulate your own kind of proprietary pork product, like get a Cuisinart or like get a pork shoulder, grind it up, cook it.
You need a large hadron collider to make the McRib. You need to do it underground and fire neutrons at it so that it takes that form. That's a superhero sandwich.
And then I say, instead of that barbecue sauce, make up some sort of yellow mustard sauce that you could slather on that thing. And then
I do a secret sauce. I do a quote unquote secret sauce. It's like a mixing of like a bunch of different sauces. So like mostly mayo, ketchup, a little barbecue sauce, sriracha, prepared horseradish, diced like minced onions, like minced relish, all mixed up. Maybe a little ketchup. Did I say that already? A little mustard, a little yellow mustard. Mix it all together, and it makes like this nice pink sauce. And it's great on whatever you put on that, whatever sandwich you put that on, it makes it better. It's really good.
Now, you're a food historian. You've looked into the background and the retracing the histories of various sandwiches. Let me ask you about the Cubano, the Miami version. Should it or should it not have mayonnaise on it? Because I've been encountering a lot of mayonnaise. Okay, no.
Nope.
And
No.
Defo, the one that you liked that you had from Las Vegas in Fort Lauderdale last week on Oakland Park Boulevard, did it have mayonnaise on it?
It did not.
Oh, it did not. So I don't know what they're doing at the one that was near my old home on Sterling Road in Hollywood. Because the last time I got a Cuban sandwich there and I pulled up, they have a drive-through window because it used to be, I think, a Miami Subs. And by the way, Miami Grill, we will be going to one next week. for a one-off because I like Miami Grill. I
Uh-huh.
used to go there all the time. But this Las Vegas Cuban cuisine, which took over one of them, has a drive-through window. I ordered in advance. I picked up a Cuban sandwich. It had the shredded lechon asado, which I don't like on my.
You're already mad. You're already mad.
And then I bite
No.
into it, and it was a hot mess, and it had slathered with mayonnaise, and I couldn't
Hot
find
mayo
any.
is horrible. Hot mayo is horrible.
I like.
I don't. That's it's.
It should not be. That's a shanda
No.
in Yiddish. We call that a shanda. It's like a sin to put
It's
mayo.
verboten.
Yeah, so I'm glad default. This is why we had a big divergence of opinion last week. He said, "Oh, he picked up some food from the Las Vegas there."
I
on
think
Oak
you're Las
Park
Vegas.
Boulevard.
Yeah, my family more or less ate there, and they loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was
They
great.
do a good job. Yeah.
Got a piece of a Cuban sandwich. Was brought home, and I'd have to say it was one of the better ones I've had.
Now, Carlos, because of your background, I ask you, and you're a former Broward guy too. Like, it's to me, we got Las Vegas and Padrinos are like the kind of regional chains that you see in Broward and a little bit also in Palm Beach counties. Are they down there in Miami and they just can't compete because there's so many good mom and pop Cubans? Or what's your favorite like kind of Cuban restaurant, but I would say like not lowbrow, but not fancy place?
Yeah. Well, yeah, those chains aren't down here. Padrinos and Las Vegas are not down here. And
Do you like either one? Have you been?
yeah,
to it?
I like Las Vegas. I like the one on 441. It's been there forever.
Yeah, the original,
like in
right?
Hollywood. Yeah,
Yeah.
the original. There was one that was perfectly fine. It was good. It was actually really good. It was in Pembroke Pines, like Palm and Pines.
Okay.
Palm Avenue and Pines, and I don't know if it's still there or not, but it was near my house where I grew up, and that was fine. In Miami, probably my favorite Cuban place, not fancy, is called La Casita. La Casita, and that place has been there for 40 years, and it's literally right down the street from Versailles. I want to say it's maybe 10 streets away. And it's great, and it's just traditional Cuban food. All the waiters are dressed up nice. It's like a little strip mall restaurant, but all the waiters are dressed up nice. Maybe they have black ties, black pants, and like linen tablecloths, white linen tablecloths, and they just take what they do seriously, which is
What's your
nice.
go-to order? Let's say if you go to like a place like that. I mean, is it the pork or masas de puerco or pecadillo or the ropa vieja? I love all those things, but I didn't know. If you
It's
had
usually something that is a hassle to make at home. Like I love bite milanesa, like the Milanese steak, right? So like they pound it flat so it's hanging off the plate. It's it's got like breaded and fried.
Breaded, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say they put sauce. They may even put ham and sauce, and then cheese over the top. And then the cheese is melted and kind of toasted. Like that's many steps. And I'm fine with letting a good Cuban restaurant make that for me, and I'm okay with that.
What do you think they would do if you walked in with a half-gallon jug of McRib sauce and started pouring it all over the Milanese? Would they throw you out?
I think it would be the last time I'd be invited back to that restaurant. I think they might call the police. Might call the police.
What are your thoughts on La Carreta? Because whenever I talk to people, Cubans, they always La Carreta, and then you see Hispanic people eating there. So I always think it's funny because I get what it is, but it's not a bunch of white people eating there. Like it's a bunch of black people eating there. So I always find it funny whenever you bring that place up. An ex of mine years ago introduced me to it, so I'll eat it once in a while when I want a croqueta, and we don't always have that in Broward. But when you bring it up to people, they always make a face, and it's like, but people are eating there.
Yeah, it's perfectly serviceable. I don't know.
That's
it's
a Mayo.
perfectly fine. Yeah, like it's. I mean, especially La Carreta that's across from Versailles. Their kitchen, they're owned by the same company. Versailles owns La Carreta.
Did not know that.
As a bunch of other restaurants. And so they own both restaurants. But the kitchen at La Carreta is, to me, is a little better. They don't own the one that's on Bird Road. That's a little bit further west. But that one does a nice job too. And as a matter of fact, what you don't find in Dade that you do find in Broward is the Sunday brunch at La Carreta, where it's like it's all you can eat. It's all you can eat breakfast and lunch. Like they set out the big buffet.
Really?
Yeah, they do a buffet, and you can get they have everything from chicken livers to like just sunny side up eggs, like fried out bacon, croquetas, all you can drink café con leche. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Try
It
this.
is
I know
good.
there's one in Pine.
Carlos, before we let you go, and we thank you for your time today, and
My pleasure.
always a pleasure to see you. I wanted to get a brief word. I know that me and you, I think, both going to be in the same place tonight. We got the secret password to Burger Beast.
Am I going to do the Trump dance?
Only if you're pulling get mayonnaise on the
Brock Bowers.
Mayonnaise on
No,
each side.
oh
I
God.
put mayo all over these,
How did we
all over these
get
Cuban
here?
sandwiches.
Oh my God.
Mayo.
So I feel very enlightened because Seth, he told me he doesn't usually release where the location of his like underground burger club is until the day of, the night before, but he actually told me last week. So I am going to be there tonight, and
Great.
but
I'm
Well,
gonna
will
be
he
there
have
too.
time? Because I hear he's been nominated to be the head of the Health and Human Services. Committee doesn't get through.
you know what, Seth would be actually a better choice
Yeah,
than
that's
RFK
I would think.
Jr.
Yes.
Then
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
at least Seth
I-
has
Most
some.
You know
anybody
what?
would be.
He actually dropped a piece of news. So we had these donut shops down here in Miami called Mojo Donuts
Yeah,
that spun
Mojo.
off from the one in
Mojo.
they spun off from the one in Pembroke Pines, which
Yes,
I love the one in Pembroke Pines because I'm a cake donut guy. Like I like the texture of
big
the cake
hefty,
donut.
yeah.
I'm
hefty.
not like I don't like yeast donuts, especially because I like to dunk them, and yeast donuts get sour once you dunk them. They don't taste good to me. And so anyway, the two Mojo Donuts down here recently closed. And he posted on his story that on his Instagram story, Burger Beast, that they're going to be Hollywood Donuts,
Yeah,
Hollywood
Hollywood
Donut
Donut
Factories,
is
which is
again.
my favorite donut. I feel like I won the lottery. I never have to leave Miami-Dade County ever again.
It's weird because we have these regional chains. You know, we had Dandy Donut that's very popular. That's up near Depot, and there's one in Pompano.
It's one
And
by
there's
me too.
Great.
good. Dandy at one point I thought was aligned with Hollywood Donuts because there was that one Hollywood Donuts, Hollywood Boulevard near 95. And I never knew, was it a Dandy? Was it a Hollywood? Then it broke off on its own as Hollywood. Next thing I know, Hollywood Donuts are popping up everywhere, including on Las Olas Boulevard. And now I got the news also from Seth that Hollywood Donuts are taking over the Mojo Donuts that were in Miami-Dade. The Pembroke Pines Mojo is staying Mojo. And I don't know about the stand at the Hard Rock Stadium where they had a Mojo Donuts too. But again, all kinds of donut craziness. But I wanted to ask you because Seth and Burgers, I was having a discussion with the Beast the other week about smash burgers, and I'm over them, and I've never was really into them, but it seems like everybody and every food truck and every food hall in Miami was serving these smash burgers, and I hate them because I like a big, thick, juicy, medium rare burger, the kind we got with Lenore last week at
Gilbert's, yep.
Grill. I went to check out this place a week ago, and I'm going to name the name now. It's called La Bira. There's a couple of them in Miami-Dade. I think it's out of South America, but they opened one on Oakland Park Boulevard, and they humbly proclaim in neon sign, the best burger in the world. And after I went there and took 2 bites, I said, this is not even the best burger in the zip code. But again, a lot of the burgers there are smash burgers. What do you think of smash burgers? And I saw something in the Infatuation national newsletter saying smash burgers are on the way out and big, fat, juicy, thick burgers are coming back in 2025.
You know what's funny is I had the first thick burger that I've had in a while at Michael's Genuine. I got together with Zach the Baker, Zach Stern, the actual guy behind Zach the Baker, and we were just hanging out. We decided to get something to eat, and we were near Michael's Genuine, and we just had like a standard burger, and it was good. It was funny. He had the perfect comment. He's like, "This feels like a hotel burger." You know what I mean? Like you
And
come
that's a
off a
good
long
thing.
night, and yeah, it's a good thing. Like you've had this experience, right? Where you know, especially sports writing, you're moving around between so many places. You're in a different city. You, especially if you're covering a basketball team, you might be in a couple cities back to back to back, and then you get exhausted to your hotel, and room service is open, and you get like that juicy standard burger, and it's like it's just feels like home. So I was gonna say there's something good about it. I personally like to make smash burgers at home. I like the texture. I like that I can eat a smaller burger. I will say that I recently went to a place, I'm not going to name it, but that they do this. They smash the burger so thin, it's almost a hash.
Mm.
It's like a hash brown. It's like this wide. It looks like a frisbee hanging off the edge of the thing. And I was like, this is you've gone too far.
Like there's
Smash
no
burger has gone
meat
too
in the
far.
center.
That's my problem.
It's all like crispy, gristle, carcinogenic
Yep.
just exterior, which
It's-
some people like that texture, but to me it just I like having juicy, rare, well ground, like good
That burger, yeah.
quality meat that's ground down, and then juices come running down your face, and it's just like I want those. I want more of that in my life. I wouldn't mind if I never saw another smash burger.
See, I like a pressed burger. Like I put the ball of meat on and I press it down but it's still like kind of like Shake Shack, like it's like
My
a
burger.
that to me is a great fast food burger. Shake Shack. It's
And
like it's perfect. It
the
doesn't
one
need
thing-
anything else.
And this drives me nuts because when I see somebody like whether it's a burger on a flame broiled grill or barbecue in the backyard or a flat top, when you start smashing things down and you're getting all the juices running out of them, like that to me is
No,
it
Mike
makes
Mayo,
me
no.
enraged. It makes me reach for my medical marijuana container. Again, elections have consequences, Carlos. As soon as Amendment 3 got shot down, the next day I went out and was diagnosed with PTSD from several things, and am now, and I didn't take any of my medicine today, and it shows. It's been a really worked up day. But if I see somebody smashing a burger down, especially on like a charcoal outdoor grill, I'm like, what are you doing? You're ruining it. Just let it be. Hit it once, and then all the juices and the meat coagulate on the top, and it redistributes throughout the center when you take it off the grill and you let it kind of rest for a little bit. And then when you take a bite out of it, all those juices are still there. And then when they're dribbling down my chin, I'm a very happy person. But this is what makes the world different, right?
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
How about them Dolphins? All right, before we let you go, quick take on where the Dolphins stand now after yesterday's convincing victory over the sad New England Patriots, Carlos.
So they're
Former
what,
sports
6 and
writer.
5?
They're
They're 6 and 5 right now?
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
5 and 6. They're still not over the hump. They are fine. They're the McRib of football teams. Like they're fine. You can watch them, and it'll eat up part of your Sunday, and then you've had football the same way that you eat a McRib. You've eaten it. You've consumed. You've filled, and then you move on, and you never think about it again. I mean, I think the version of the Dolphins last year was interesting and exciting. I don't think they're there yet. I think Tyreek Hill I think he's hurt. And we're just seeing the effects of that. And I think that I
Are they going
feel
to make
like
the playoffs?
I feel like they're like the Heat at this point. Like that's almost giving them too much credit. But the Heat right now, where they've had this core of talent that has gotten a little bit aged. Like they're aged one more year, and now by next year they'll be another year older, a step slower. And I think they might be at the point where they really need to think about adding a player or making a tough decision on a player.
Defo, if you had to compare this Dolphins team to a fast food item, do you know what they would be?
Wow, that's a tough question.
That is a tough.
I
Is it a Skyline Chili? No way.
Maybe an In-N-Out burger. It's possible. I mean,
It's pretty good though. That's pretty good.
yeah,
But not
it's
as good
pretty
as it used to be.
Well, you don't think so? I mean, a lot of people would argue
I love it.
otherwise.
A lot of people are wrong.
No, Jesus, you're such a jackass. I love
Well,
it.
the Dolphins, if they're 5 and 6, they're less than average, right? So you have to pick a less than average fast food item. Like there's the average fast food item.
I mean, they're misunderstood. I don't know. We'll find out this week. Thursday can't come soon enough because you
They
got a
can
real
get
test.
back to 500 on a primetime.
It's going to be tough,
Thanksgiving
though.
day.
Green Bay Packers look great yesterday.
Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. This is what it's again. It's a test for them, and
This is it. Yep.
my opinion of them basically has not changed, and that is, without Tua, they're a bad team. With Tua, they're an okay team that basically beats up on bad teams and can't beat a good team. So they're not elite. And with Tua, if they had Tua the whole season and didn't miss him, they'd likely be a playoff team. Now they're going to be fighting for their lives to get in the playoffs, and they'll lose in the first round again. And that's it. playoff winless streak will continue. Lubie, do you have any opinions of yesterday's game?
I have opinions. I actually think defense is spot on with In-N-Out, and everyone's chiming in there and In-N-Out where
Maybe Del Taco.
go there.
You've been
No,
there.
and I like Del Taco too, actually, where it's not the highest level like they were last year, but it's satisfying. And that's the way they're playing now is the way I wanted them to play for 2 years. And maybe Carlos is right, maybe boring, but they're having it's the kind of play that you can actually win a playoff game with, as opposed to expecting 75-yard touchdowns, which you're not going to have in the playoffs. So I think this is much more sustainable. I still don't trust their defense at all. And a rookie Drake May wasn't going to prove it, the defense, and that's what you saw yesterday. And again, the quarterback depth is a major issue. Skylar Thompson comes in for one play, and it's a fumble return for a 65-yard touchdown, and they had to put Tua back in. Like, if Tua can't sit down for a quarter, like, that you're up by 30, like, that scares the crap out of me, to be brutally honest. So we'll see. I like that Chop Robinson's coming on. I question their pass rush. Look, to me, it's not the offense as much as Perk and Dave Hyde like to talk about the offense. I think the offense is, look, right now they're like leading the league in third down percentage. They literally have had 1 3-and-out in the last like 3 games or something. Like, that's all you can ask for from the offense. It's the defense. And I think that when you play the good teams, your defense has to step up. And we'll see Thursday. I think Jordan Love may have a really fun game Thursday night in whatever the conditions are, because that defense is sort of a sieve.
All right.
I think the Packers are gonna eat themselves a tasty Dolphins McRib.
I was just going to ask you, Carlos, how long did you cover sports for? You were on the
Something around 15 years. I got to the point
So
where I was.
you did your time like me. I think I
Yeah.
did 13 years in sports down at the Sun Sentinel, and came up through the Sun Sentinel, Palm Beach Post. If somebody offered you a choice of having to go cover a Dolphins road playoff game in Buffalo or Kansas City,
The other
or
thing.
eat- or
the
eat-
other thing.
or eat a full McRib sandwich followed by a full chicken Big Mac. The other thing, you was going with the McRib and the chicken Big Mac. Like, you have to eat every bite.
Wow. God, if Buffalo, any other city where it's like, well, if I'm in a cool city, I can enjoy it, but I'm in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Then you could
give me
get
the-
some
give me the-
anchor wings, anchor bar.
Give me the death food. Give me the death food. I'll take the death food.
All right, we're going to let you go. We got to take another break. Carlos, always a pleasure. Happy
He's eating my
Thanksgiving.
son.
I'm grateful that you still talk to us because you're
Oh, I'm grateful to be
here
asked to
from
pee on, man. It's my pleasure.
and we are eating McRib sandwiches live and live critiquing them. But Carlos
You're
Frias,
living the life. You're living the life of kings. Thank you.
are you doing any local blogging, or is it people? I know occasionally you post great nuggets on the Let's Eat South Florida group, but any other places that local food lovers can check out your latest work?
I mean, honestly, I post a lot on Instagram. I try to post a couple times a week just to like talk about things that are going on in food or for arts and culture too. So if you're down with food and arts and culture, I was at the book fair yesterday on a panel
Nice.
about ventanitas, about Cuban coffee windows, which were invented here. And if you want to read more about that, just check me out on Carlos Frias Official.
Nice.
At
On all
Carlos
places.
Frias Official. That's the
That's
IG
right.
site. He's the man. And thanks. Have a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your whole family. And we will take our second break and then come back with a contest winner and more on this edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Freshest Fish Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. It's a little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. Newsflash just in. Special counsel Jack Smith moves to dismiss charges against Trump in the federal 2020 election case. It just goes to show you that if you're going to try to overturn an election, just win the next election and you're home scot-free. So that's the latest from the Newswire. But we all know these things. It was a heavy-duty weekend of eating for me. But before I get into that, I'm looking forward to future big eating, the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. And I got to tell everybody, I ran into Phil and Kate last night at Heritage with our friend Reno. It was one of those days where Val and I, we hosted a Friendsgiving, and it was a big crowd. It ended up being like 19 people overall. We did not buy enough ducks from Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market because the ducks, the yield, it probably feeds each duck about 5 people, and we miscalculated. So a lot of our guests were able to fill themselves on food, but then by the end of the night, Val and I hadn't eaten, and I ran out to pick up some late night pizza and pasta from Reno. And who was in there but Kate and Phil, and they are set. The things are taking shape for the upcoming 2025 Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Go online to vlfoodwine.com. The opening event at Heritage is sold out, but there's lots of other things going on that week, other intimate dinners around town, other big signature events. Go online, vlfoodwine.com, look up the events. And then if you want to go to one of the 5 big signature events, the cocktail competition Wednesday, the Asian theme walk and roll Thursday, the barbecue battle Friday, the Saturday grand tasting, or the Sunday there's a new brunch event, go online, enter the promo code Lunchbox, and you'll get an extra 15% off the already low ticket prices for your festival enjoyment. It makes a great gift for the holiday season for the food lover in your life. Go online now, vlfoodwine.com. So I tried a new restaurant for the first time on Friday night when my daughter Natalia came back into town, celebrating her birthday a little late. It's an Italian place in Pompano. That's right down the road from your one of your places, Spanks the Hog, but it's called C. Mario, and it's right across from Calypso on Cypress Road. Have you had the pleasure of getting in there yet, Defo? Have you heard anything about it? C. Mario.
It's favorable reviews. I know the owner and the chef there a little bit through a friend of mine.
Oh, do you? It's
well, he had a couple of other places. He
yeah,
had
Sunset
a while. Kind of looked like an old Roman cathedral or whatever. He had it well decorated. A very good place. And then he opened up a place off the Intercoastal. that was very successful. Sun something.
Sunset Catch.
Yeah.
It was on the rooftop of a hotel there, right? Is that
And
correct?
no, this is his new thing. People have been very favorable. In fact, I passed by there on my way back from the dentist, and looked like I guess they're open for lunch because
Oh, nice.
Are
quite
they?
a few cars out there.
I didn't realize it. And again, fantastic. We had a great meal there. Some good house-made pastas, a lot of seafood dishes. My daughter got chicken parm because she's in that phase, and there was a good chicken parm. But really, cozy, hospitable place with fair pricing. And uh, I wanted to write about it on the Let's Eat group, except my other friend, the Sheik, Mark, who loves the place and says, "Do not dare tell people on the
Oh, he's
group."
not even going there.
He wants to still be able to get a table. He says it has, it's gotten more crowded as the season has gone on. But if I start singing its praises on the Facebook group, that he'll never have a chance of getting in there. So we're working out on a deal of how much it's worth it to him for me not to write it. But it's one of the goodies, the bonuses you get from watching the Lunchbox is, yeah, it's pretty good. And it's funny because I know his brother. His brother used to be the chef and run a little place in Pompano called Casa Recchio, and that went out of business. And now his brother, I think his name is Sal Spina, is in that food hall, the Bite Food Hall in Pompano, where they're doing some pastas and stuff with his girlfriend Amelia, and but that see Mario, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Really good. Also, kudos to Joe Beja and the crew at Gulfstream
Yes.
Depot. This Italian theme thing they had on Saturday was a huge hit. It was crowded. And Lubie, why don't you give the 5-second?
It was just fantastic. We had plans later in the day, so we couldn't just hang around. It was one that I wish we could have been around for 2 or 3 hours because the food was tremendous, but it's all filling stuff. So like you wanted like some decompression time between bites, but we were sort of only able to be there for like an hour. It was tremendous. Like they did such a good job. The drinks were nice, and they always get good crowds, but this it was jammed. But what I love about what they do is even when it's packed, like you still don't wait forever for food. You don't wait forever for drinks. Everyone's in a good mood. There's not people bitching and moaning. And it was just, it's tough to think of any of the dishes that weren't good. Like every dish was really good. Like
What I was pleasantly surprised by, because you can make an Italian event like that uses really very delicious, tasty, but the ingredients are not maybe the costliest. Just make some nice pasta dishes and a chicken thing. But no, he had a beef carpaccio where this was like quality beef that he was using, and it was like you could tell proper, raw, thin sliced and topped properly. And then also like the linguine, he had black truffle shaved on every portion. Really, and the porchetta sandwich, like they roasted it in house and then they baked their own focaccia bread and made sandwiches out of that with some mortadella. It was
cutlet sandwich that I know they elevated a little bit was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everything was fantastic.
And the drinks were great. I mean, they had a whole espresso martini station where they were pouring the Kettle One pre-batched espresso martinis. Pretty good stuff. I mean, I drank a few of those and then had a bunch of other things. Next time they hold this Italian one, I think it's going to be added to the rotation. We'll find out from Joe for sure on Black Friday. We will be out there. We got to take one more break. Before we do, I got to just get the contest out of the way, and I need a ruling from, I guess, the chief judge, Defo. Usually I say, people who are employees of the Lunchbox show or, family members of the Lunchbox are not permitted to participate. But what do we do with Jim Sarney? I mean, he's a friend. We call him producer emeritus, but it's not really. He has no. I just listened to him. Is he eligible to win prizes on the show, Defo?
Disqualification.
Well, I'm going to overrule because he has won in the past. And even though he sends some really weird ideas and tries to act like a producer sometimes, he has no affiliation with the show. He receives no compensation.
He actually won, so Sarney won?
Yeah. So of course, here, you didn't see my text over the weekend? We have like something close to 30 entrants this past week, and the way it works was it was very easy because the restaurant involved in honor of the 40th anniversary of the Flutie Hail Mary game was Boston's on the Beach, and again we had the Patriots playing the Dolphins, and Boston's on the Beach in Delray seemed appropriate for the 40th anniversary. Everybody got that except Sheldon G in Vegas. He always has the wrong. Like I don't know how he got that wrong. He said latitudes. No, Boston's. That was the whole theme. And then Sarni is from Boston. Started off at Boston College and the Boston Globe, and so he, it's appropriate that he got that. But then it was a full field of 12 going in a maiden special race, the seventh race. The winner of that race, number 11, Lush Lips. Now, what are the odds that Sarni would bet on a horse or pick a horse named Lush Lips?
Hi.
Yeah. And it was a slight, long shot. I think it was like a 7-1 shot. He was the only one who had Lush Lips. So he won straight up, but he would have won also with the Dolphins game.
Yeah, the Dolphins winning by what, 18 is what he
by
texted
18, and the Dolphins won by 19. So being that correct, he has to, we have to give him
It's fine.
the W. And congratulations to James L. Sarni, proud Bostonian, for winning this week's Lunchbox 10 pounds brunch competition. Him and a guest will get a brunch for two at the Spectacular Sunday Brunch Buffet. And let me remind everybody that 10 pounds will be offering a Thanksgiving buffet for the first time in conjunction with the opening day of the Champions Meet this Thursday. And there's still plenty of availability left. Joe Beja noted on the group. And if you and your family are still looking for a great place to celebrate the holiday, it'll be on the earlier side. Buffet open from 11 to 3. Could stay there all day, bet the races. Just go online to opentable.com and search for 10 Palms at Gulfstream and make your reservations today. All right, we got to take one more break and then we'll be out of here. You're out of here. You're tapping out.
Yeah.
Yep, all good.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Always great.
From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out.
What that is, brother.
Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Oh, we're all having a rough day. Lubie's rougher than others because he actually devoured a McRib. I don't know what kind of effect that's having on one's overall general well-being. I know that I think I consider myself lucky that I didn't find it. I've been all kinds of hassle, but I did take a walk of life this morning with my daughter,
Nice.
my beautiful daughter, along the Hollywood Broadwalk, and that
Nice.
was nice. And but this is me after a walk of life. It's not a pretty sight because so many other things are going wrong. And I got to mention, okay, we're over in a little bit of overtime now, Lubie, but that's okay.
I know where to be. I'm good.
I don't have to be anywhere till 4:00. I'm doing a little scouting recon mission down at the Miami Grill in Pembroke Pines, where we're going to be doing our show next Monday.
Okay, so
But
it's
I'm
a
also
time
going to be
Okay.
catching up with the CEO of the Miami Grill brand.
Oh wow, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he wants to meet me, and we'll have a little talk. And I want to get a little also lay of the land and see where we could set up next week. And so I'll be going out from Western Pines right down to the Burger Beasts. He calls it like his underground burger.
What is this? Does he do burgers? Like I'm trying to figure out if I want to be there.
Basically, it's at a secret location known only to the underground Burger Beast
I
Club
get it. We're not going
members.
to ruin his club, but
No, and it's down in Doral today, but it's a restaurant that's closed on Mondays, so he basically takes over the restaurant. And I think there's some different burgers that are made and consumed, so that's always going to be fun.
That's amazing.
Because Burger Beast was in the, he actually does his pop-ups, and I guess this is kind of like one of his burger pop-ups. I'll find out and see. All I know is Carlos Frias is going to be there. If all the cool kids are there, then I got to go. I did get an invite with a +1, and Lubie, if you want to join me, I could send you the.
I can reach out to Beast now.
Okay.
We're friends. If he does not invite me, I will be boycotting him.
He was invited. You're invited. I
don't need to
just
be
a
a
matter. He
plus
didn't know if you wanted to go all the way down to
I can't
the
lie to you.
netherworld of Doral. Gotta brave the traffic on 75, and then
That's
God
a
knows
lot.
what the turnpike of Palmetto. Hey, there's another event that we're going to be involved with, Lubie, and I have to put out the good word and put it on people's food radar. Our friend Evan Darnell and Red Meat Lovers Club. They're having, for the 5th year in a row, they call it the Rib Cage Battle. Luckily, not the McRib Cage Battle, where it's basically a celebration of meat and boxing.
Ooh.
It's at the Delray Beach Boxing Club. I think Defo came out one
Defo
year.
went to
They've
the
had
one.
different things. One year it was barbecued brisket. This year, the item in question that's going to be judged is meatballs. So I don't know why he doesn't call it boxing and balls, but maybe that's a little. They're calling it the Red Meat Lovers Club Rib Cage Battle Part 5. It's going to be on Wednesday, January 29th. And if you go online to eventbrite.com and just do a search for Red Meat Lovers Club or go online to the redmeatloversclub.com website, rmlc.com. You'll find all the info you need to buy your tickets. But meatballs is the item that's going to be in play. I'm going to be one of the judges, but listen to this lineup, Lubie. He's got Prezzo, one of our sponsors from Boca Raton. Of course, the great Eddie Pizzoli will be involved in the meatball battle. He's got Peter from Peter's Pizza, Peter's Pizzeria,
Really?
Boca
Okay.
Raton, and now Pompano Beach. And they are just killing it, getting all these rave reviews on the Let's Eat Facebook group. But Peter's Pizzeria meatballs, Prezzo's, Windy City Pizza. We like their meatballs. We've had that before
Yeah.
at an event in the tennis center before.
Yeah.
Potions in Motion, which is like a catering firm. And Evan is looking for a couple more restaurant participants. He's trying to get Sicilian Oven because I love their meatballs. And I
Great
think that would be a
meatballs,
great one. And then I'm
When is
thinking
this?
of,
When is this?
again, it is Wednesday, January 29th.
Oh, sweet time. Okay.
So we've got time. It's
Listen,
after.
Casa Calabria makes great meatballs.
Oh, I could ask Frank.
make great-
And I was thinking more along the lines because his base is more of the Boca
Ex-
del Rey people.
Oh, it's northern.
And there's Renzo's. We could try to get Renzo's.
Yeah, Lorenzo's made really good meatballs. And
They made some good meatballs. I'm going to put on my thinking cap. We're trying to get 2 more participants for the meatball ribcage battle that Red Meat Lovers Club is putting on. And again, it's going to be a fun time. Get your tickets now on eventbrite.com. Just do a search for Red Meat Lovers Club. And a couple of more notes. I mean, I can't believe it. We're just, what is it, 3 days
away
away
from Thanksgiving. Yeah.
And let's just go over the schedule. Tomorrow, we will be at Miso Japanese Tapas in the Flagler Village part of Fort Lauderdale. I ran into Twan last night,
Nice.
also at Heritage. You know,
Nice.
Heritage on a Sunday night between 10 and 11, that's like the industry witching hour. It seems like everybody shows up there and starts imbibing at the bar. And I was already well on my way. Like we made our way up there. I picked up what I needed to, but everybody was in there. It was great because I saw Twan. And he's like, when are we doing the show? And I said, Tuesday. He goes, oh, I thought it was Wednesday. But we are confirmed for
So
tomorrow.
he's good for Tuesday.
He's good for tomorrow. Wednesday, the pre-Thanksgiving, and it's the Things We're Grateful For edition. And we are most grateful for our friend Brian at Wicked Cheesesteak.
Yeah, we've been there. I'm
We're going to be there, right? And I think that's going to be a really festive day. I might get my daughter up there, a couple other people.
Yeah. Do a chicken parm sub.
Yeah, he does it all at Wicked Cheesesteak. So that place is great. And then let's just do a quick, recap of some of the other things going on for Thanksgiving. You know, again, if you want to get your turkeys, Delaware Seafood, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood, go online, delawarechicken.com. It's best to call in advance to order your bird, even though it's Monday of Thanksgiving
And
week.
you can still do. Okay, so what would you say is the cutoff?
I would
for
say
people this
tomorrow
week?
morning is the cutoff, but 954-983-6831. It's going right across the bottom crawl right now. Give them a call now and see what they can do for you. When I pulled in there last week to pick up the ducks for the Friendsgiving, I already counted 3 tractor trailer trucks that were waiting outside, waiting for the arrival of all the birds, or maybe it had the birds in them.
You probably
But
did
that
have
was-
them already.
Yeah, I think that I got in there on for the Friendsgiving on Saturday morning. So yeah, they're lined up. They're wall-to-wall turkeys there. That's if you're going to be cooking at home and preparing a fresh meal for friends and family. But there are other ways of going about it, like our friends at Batch New Southern Kitchen, the fried turkey dinner. And I love to hear, we got the report from Brandon and Kevin that their fried turkey dinner sales are up 30% at the Fort Lauderdale location. And I'm not going to take credit for it, but we do have the lunchbox bump and the Let's Eat South Florida. We've been talking about on Let's Eat group. We did the show there, and I'm very pleased to hear that people are finding out about it because it's basically a full grab and go, fully prepared dinner that you can place your order today. I don't know when the cutoff is. It might be today, but go online to Batch.
I think he said up until sort of Wednesday. I mean,
Okay.
don't quote me on that, but he made it seem like.
Just go onto the website, batchsouthern.com, and then there's a tab that says fried turkey dinner. Again, a fried turkey with all the fixings for a group of 8 to 10 people, $270. It's a great value because you can't go out to eat with that many people for less than that. And you can
you can do it that day. That's the thing, is it's not like the day before, like when you did it, and reheating it's fine. Like you can go literally from there to the Thanksgiving dinner, and it's ready to go.
And again, it's convenient and it's all ready for you. So that's batch. That's option number two. Option number three really is not an option anymore because Tropical Acres, the presenting sponsor of today's show, full up for Thanksgiving, but open as usual all weekend. Well, Friday and Saturday, their usual days. They are closed Sundays, but go you can make a reservation for Black Friday if you get some great prime rib after you're sick of all the turkey, or a steak or lamb chops. It's all great at Tropical Acres. No, don't forget Monday, Tuesday, tonight,
Yeah.
tomorrow. Half price wine, happy hour in the bar Monday through Friday from 4:30 to 6:30. Half price drinks. It's tremendous value, and they are going to be open for Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. And you can make those reservations now by calling 954-989-2500. And who am I forgetting? Oh, of course, Casa D'Angelo. We're going to be doing a show there next week with the chefs Angelo Massimova and Chef Ricky, and we're going to be previewing their white truffle dinners that are coming up, a pre-holiday celebration like no other. Great wine and the tremendous food delicacy, the white truffles from Alba, Italy. Go online if you want to get those reservations now at all three Casa D'Angelo locations. Boca Fort Lauderdale is having two of the white truffle dinners on, I believe it's the 5th and the 19th. And then Aventura on the 17th, Boca on December 10th. Go online, make your reservations now at casa-d-angelo.com. I think that's going to do it for today, Lubie. I didn't even get into the Sunday birthday brunch for my daughter that me and my daughter went to yesterday at the Hard Rock, Curro, and they keep raising.
You and her went to Curro. Oh wow!
Yeah, it was just me and her went to Curro yesterday, and
how much is it now?
145 per person plus tax and tip. So
That's
basically,
okay. How long are you allowed to? Because that's my problem. Is I don't care what prices are for things, but like I'm as much as we make fun of each other for the show, I don't eat that much. Like I just don't. Like I'm not going to spend that much money, and so I'm going to spend the whole time there thinking about, okay, how can I get my money's worth? Which is such a stupid way of eating food.
Back when it was like $90 and $110 per person, it was beyond a great value. Now we're getting to the point where it's almost, on the edge because, look, they have Alaskan king crabs. They do offer caviar service, but they now limited it. It used to be you could order all the caviar you wanted from the back. They would bring it over to you. Now they've limited the caviar to one per person per sit down. But again, it comes included with the drinks. You get some nice bellinis and mimosas, Bloody Marys. You could just get basic Tito's vodka drinks with like club soda. So I ended up having 2 glasses of champagne and 1 Tito. So I had 3 drinks. Alaskan king crab legs. They have some beautiful prime rib, but it's like, you get to that point. Well, is it worth $190 per person? Because by the time all was said and done with 2 people, tax and tip, it was $380, which luckily I had a good day at the track on Saturday. So it softened the blow. But the food, the quality is excellent, but you're limited to 2 hours. They don't keep a clock running. We were there 2 hours and nobody was
No. I'm just saying, like at Gulfstream, literally, they don't care. Whereas there, if you're there 3.5 hours, they're gonna
they'll give you a nudge at like 2 hours and 10 minutes and say, by the way, we need the table. We have the clock running. The other, thing that makes for a valid point, my daughter, she just turned 19, and even though she does have a fake ID, and they all think she's over 21 now. They're all offering her the wine and champagne, and she's like, no, but they don't give you any kind of discount if you're not drinking. And I think there should be multi-tiered pricing, like either with alcohol or without. And in my daughter's case, when she doesn't touch a drop of alcohol, should she be paying the same $145 as I did? So I think, that would be something for the people on Let's Eat to gripe about.
100%.
But for a special occasion, we had a great time. Food quality was tremendous, and I was stuffed for the rest of the day. But that didn't prevent me from eating a little bit of the Friendsgiving dinner and then going out to Heritage and picking up a pizza and some pasta and that chopped salad later in the day. Such is the way of the food life. It's way too much food all the time.
It's just beginning, my friend. This is this next month is where eating lives.
Yeah.
I'm not
This is what
tracking
we
anything.
call the danger zone. This is like the Bermuda Triangle. I could fall in, disappear, never be seen again. Maybe I will refrain from McRibs and
Yeah, don't eat
gobbler
McRibs.
sandwiches. I mean, Sarni is trying to get me to eat this Arby's gobbler sandwich.
No.
And as Defoe always points out, the over under anytime you pass any Arby's in the country, there is never more than one car waiting in line or at the drive-through. Like, unlike Chick-fil-A, you drive past no matter what time of day. There's like, a armada, a fleet of cars are waiting, and they have a full army of employees directing traffic. 20, 30
Like a
cars
parade.
through the lines, multiple lanes. Arby's, the single sad
100%.
car. But I guess that single car constantly repeated is enough to sustain Arby's
They're
as
all
a,
over the place.
as a fast food chain. Much to my bewilderment, because I literally have not had an Arby's sandwich in I cannot recall how long. And maybe I'm going to try the gobbler sandwich at some point this
It's probably
week.
not bad. Look, that's the funny thing is I actually don't mind Arby's, but it's just depressing to go there because there's never anyone there. So like we experienced this last night. We went and saw Wicked, and then there's this place off of Riverside here by the Coral Square Mall called Tulum, and it's a Mexican place.
Yeah.
So Shirley and I pass it all the time, and we're like, let's eat there. So I brought it up to you last week. You made a face. I was like, that's weird when Mayo doesn't hear of a place. So we went to go eat there last night, and we don't usually do this. Like if a place is packed or empty, we'll still eat there. But the fact that it was like 5:45 on a Sunday, which is actually a decent time for people to go out to a family place and eat, there were 4 cars and it looked empty. So it scared the crap out of us. So we ended up going to La Bamba because we know it's standard. It was jammed. They got us right in. And it's just an automatic home run. Like we go in there, we tried some different stuff. And the server was great. The prices were good. We were full. The margaritas are solid. So it's like, I'm not against Arby's. It's just every time you go there, when there's no one there, it makes it like, how good could it be?
Yeah, definitely makes you wonder. As far as Tulum, I mean, I thought I saw a couple of maybe posts about it on the group, but I forgot what they said.
It was just empty, and that scared the crap. I mean, it's been there a while. For it to be dead empty at a time, put it this way, La Bamba wasn't. La Bamba was freaking packed.
Look, La Bamba, it does a perfectly adequate job at what they're trying to do. I mean, it's not my favorite. I do.
It's not great. It's not bad. It's good. It's fine.
It's adequate. It fills its role in the world, and it fills it well, just like the McRib fills a niche.
It's better than McRib.
Total masochist. I don't get it. But thank you for your service today, Lubie.
You're
took
welcome.
the bullet for the team.
I'll go be on the toilet the rest of the
I don't think I'm ever going to try it again because I've already done it, and now that you did it, we don't need to repeat that. And speaking of repeat, I have a feeling it will be you. All right, we did way overtime today, but thanks to Carlos Frias. And we'll be tomorrow at Miso Japanese Tapas in Fort Lauderdale. They are open for lunch, so come out and say hi.
Yeah, we'll be there.
On this holiday week, kids are off from school in the local public school district. And then Wednesday, if you want to come out for our grateful Thanksgiving Eve edition at Wicked Cheesesteaks and more on Federal Highway. All right, that's it. Thank you, Lubie. I'm going to say enjoy every